What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a little bit of a look at all of those special rare cards that are coming around in OP-05 of the One Piece card game. Of course, we've had special cards for a little while now. In OP-03, we had the Wanted posters, very themed, very cool, we like it very much indeed. In OP-04, we had something very different. It was, I don't really know how to describe the ones, honestly, from OP-04, but here's the Trafalgar Law. They just look very different, they're very cool, we like them very much. And then we get to OP-05, and they're very different again. Now, OP-06, we've actually had word that it is going to feature scenes of the characters kind of in their daily lives, which we don't usually see. Here, we've got a very distinct style of card. Again, I'm sure at some point I will figure out how to describe these. For the time being, they're just cool and awesome, and I am a big fan. And once again, what we've got here are reprints of old cards basically come back new, and they're all very awesome. So starting off, I don't know what order to go in, let's just start off with Rob Lucci. Now this is the Rob Lucci that came around in OP-03, and there is the wonderful Akira Igawa artwork that was on this Rob Lucci as well, so I figured, I'd pop that one on the screen as well while we're here. Now this is a pretty cool black card. On play, 6 cost 7,000 power, I should say. On play, you may place 2 cards of a type including CP from your trash at the bottom of your deck in any order, and then this character gains rush. So you've got a little bit of recovery and rush, or another way to put it is, if you don't have 2 cards of the correct type to put back, then you can't actually have rush. But it's worth noting you got 7,000 power, which is a decent amount of power to have rush, and a lot of black cards don't have rush in the first place, so this is pretty gosh darn cool indeed. Now, we've got ourselves Uta. Now, Uta was, of course, a secret rare back in OP-02, and once again, we had an alternate art of it. That is going to be a theme, incidentally, that we've got multiple artworks of these cards. Now, this is the 8 cost, 8,000 power on play, Don -2. Your leader and all of your characters gain 1,000 power until the start of your next turn. So this is awesome. It gives a boost not only to your leader, but to all of your characters as well. And then you've still got an 8,000 power character in subsequent turns who's going to be a pretty good attacker and be able to kind of go through your opponent's characters. What I will say is, neither Rob Lucci nor this one have seen a huge amount of play. Now, that's not to say they haven't seen play, and to be fair, the Rob Lucci does see a bit of play in Rob Lucci decks that have been in and around in the OP-03 meta. They're not powerhouse cards, but they are decent cards, and I have seen them popping up in deck lists over the years. I say over the years, over the sets, because these have both been out for a little while now, especially in Japan, but they're not exactly the highlight cards. But with these special cards, it seems like they're going for the highlight characters, because Rob Lucci and Uta are very cool characters. Now, Nami from OP-01 is a card that has seen a ridiculous amount of play, and certainly in the early days of the game, red decks were all over Nami. Now, this is the one cost 2,000 power, counter plus 1,000, and on play, you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal a Straw Hat crew other than Nami, add it to your hand, put the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. We've seen Nami exist in many other ways. Nami is for Straw Hat Crew, but we've seen this exact ability, to look at top 5 cards, search for this type other than the character with this, in a whole bunch of other decks. And one pretty important thing to note is, these cards are always good. Plus, please remember, Nami is an extremely popular character. Of the 6 that we see here, I expect Uta to be fairly popular, and there's a couple others I think could be quite popular, but I do think Nami is going to be the one. When you're opening boxes of OP-05, when you're looking for these special cards, it really does seem like Nami is going to be the one that everybody is going to be, rushing to try and find. This, I can't say for certain, but with it being a very playable card, with it being a Nami, I feel very confident this is going to be, the number one of them, the most sought after. Now, the one I think is probably the coolest is Kaido. Now, this is actually the fairly new Kaido, the OP-04 blue Kaido that we've already seen come back a couple of times, but this is a very good card. We've got 10 cost, 12,000 power, one of the few 12,000 power characters we've got in the game. And on play, you can return an 8 cost or lower character and a 3 cost or lower character to the owner's hand. Blue decks like playing removal. So, this being able to get rid of an 8 cost or lower and a 3 cost or lower at the same time, while also giving you a 12,000 power attacker, the biggest attacker in blue, and, the joint biggest attacker literally anywhere. We haven't seen higher than 12,000 power naturally. Obviously, you can boost characters up, but in terms of natural power, we've not seen higher than 12,000. And frankly, this Kaido is an absolute beast. King of the beasts, in fact. But this one is seeing a lot of play at the moment in Japan over in the OP-04 meta. So I do think this is going to see a fair bit of play. Well, continue to see a fair bit of play, which will make this one pretty popular. Worth pointing out that I have mentioned, all of these cards, I have shown you both the regular and the alternate art side by side with this new special art. But now we get to Enel. Now, there may well be an alternate art of Enel. In OP-05, the alternate art of Enel could be a thing, that could be a card, but as it stands at the moment, we've not seen it. Remember, OP-05 isn't out yet. We've not seen the secret rares from OP-05, or the alternate arts, I should say. So, Enel is a popular character. It's a Skypiea set, and obviously, Enel is the big bad over there. And you've got a super rare of, someone who's clearly one of the main characters in this particular set. So just keep an eye open for this. I'm not showing you an alternate art because as it stands at the moment, an alternate art doesn't exist. However, I am of the opinion that an alternate art probably does exist. So I think there might be something to add in here if we were to redo this video in the future. Either way, we got a 7 cost, 7,000 power with Rush. And of course, we don't see Rush very often in yellow. So this is pretty gosh darn good. And we've got main once per turn. When this character would be KO'd, you can instead trash the top card of your life. However, if Monkey D. Luffy is in play, you don't get to do this. Thematically, I adore this card, and now that I have read the entire manga, I would say start to finish, but more start to up to date, this makes perfect sense, and I love this, and I really appreciate the fact that the game designers have, gone to the effort here to just make this seem about right. This makes me very, very happy indeed. But I told you there were 6. I've only shown you 5 so far. So we've got one more. We've got Yamato. Now, this is a secret rare from right back in OP-01. Worth noting there are 2 OP-01 cards here. 5 cost, 5,000 power, counter plus 1,000. Also treat this card as Kazuki Oden according to the rules. And again, that made no sense to me when I saw this first. Now that I've read the manga, makes perfect sense. And you've got double attack and banish. Banish, of course, meaning that any life cards your opponent would take to their hand when you do damage are discarded instead. And double attack meaning that instead of getting 1 card, you actually get to go and get 2. This is a card that's never seen as much play in green as I would expect. That's not to say it's not seeing any play. It's not to say that it's never seen any play. It is to say that, the first time I saw this card, knowing the rules of the game, I was like, double attack and banish on a 5 cost, that seems really good. I stand by my opinion, incidentally. The power is a little bit low at 5,000 for a 5 cost, but you get the counter plus 1,000, which I think is a pretty big deal. And I don't know, this is a card that I've always thought should be seeing a bit more play than it is. So keep an eye on this one. I still think there is going to come a point in the One Piece card game where this becomes amazing. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I promised you all the new special cards from OP-05, and I delivered. Shout out to Orange Samurai D. These cards were shown on the official stream. Orange Samurai D did go and cut them out, make my life a little bit easier. And I've, chatted a bit to that dude about One Piece. Very, very lovely person. So shout out to them for the help and the loveliness. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it's over to you guys. Tell me which one of these you want to pick up. Tell me which one you're going to be hoping for when you open OP-05. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.